listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, as always, guys, coming to you from ESPN 97.5, 92.5, giving it to you like we always do on a weekly. On the real, dog, you get nothing but the truth. I like that. I like that little opening there. How you doing, man? How you feel?
Hey, Book, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Here we are. It's Thursday. We're very close to reality wrestling on Saturday. And I was just telling you this the other day. We were talking on the phone. It feels like it's been a long time since the Summer of Champions. So I'm looking forward to getting back to the World Gym Arena because I know there are also, do we know there's like another arena maybe in the works, right? Am I allowed to talk about that?
Oh, yeah. Go right ahead.
Okay. I know that we're in the midst of building a new arena. I don't know. What have you been down there lately to see how the build's coming?
It's coming along real nice. Process is it's going slower than I expected. But hey, man, I just want it to be right when we do get in there because it's not all about just reality of wrestling. We want to be able to promote boxing events. We want to be able to promote Muay Thai, mixed martial arts, quinceañeras. We want everything to be right, man. So we ain't rushing nobody.
Yeah. The thing about it is they need to go as fast as they can, but as slow as they must.
Exactly. You know, and my thing is, I'm not the one that's working the budget. You know what I mean? So my man Jerome Karam, he's taking care of it for me. My man who's definitely brought the Mall of the Mainland back to life because that place was dead, man, when we first moved there 5 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
5 years ago, that place was dead. And now it's got so much action going on. Guys, we're right there, 10,000 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway, Mall of the Mainland, right down there by the dog track. Guys, come down there and check out some reality of wrestling this weekend. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out because I will be playing a whole new role. And I tell you, man, it's going to be real going forward at reality of wrestling.
Well, we'll have to see exactly what that new role is going to be for Booker T again. If you're in the Houston or surrounding areas, you're in Galveston, if you're out there in Humboldt, Spring, Dayton, it's not that bad of a drive.
Texas City.
Oh, no, it's Texas City, obviously. Friendswood, Webster, Pearland, wherever the hell you are in the greater Houston area, come on down and check out some pro wrestling. The best that you're going to find in all of the Gulf Coast. And it's going to be going down 10,000 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway. Bell time is 7 p.m. And that's a strict bell time, guys. Like at 7, you hear a ding, 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 and your first contest of the evening starts to walk down the ramp. So don't think this is like, hey, I can get there at 7:45 and they haven't started yet. This is not a rock show.
And the thing is, I just want to put everybody on notice, all right? I know everybody think that they can show up late, because they say it's Booker T's show, man. The brothers never start on time. But we make it a point at reality of wrestling to start on time. We do things a little bit different than most, okay? I just want to throw that out there.
You said it. I didn't say nothing. No one coming from me. We started right on time. Didn't you say you went to a was it like an old school hip hop night?
Mm-hmm.
Who was it, like Eric B. and Rakim or something like that?
Yeah, and the brothers would not come out until they got paid. All right. So it was literally midnight, all right, something like that. We had been waiting for about an hour and a half for these fools to come on stage. And we finally said, I finally told Charmel, I said, baby, let's go. Let's get up out of here. And we bounced because I'm going to tell you, man, for a lot of the people there, that was normal. Okay. But for me, I was like, nah, let's get up out of here, man. And I have not went back to an old school concert since. I'm boycotting old school concerts from now. Comedy shows, I go check out, but concerts, that's out.
Yeah. We'll go see Bruce when he comes into town, but anything else, that's a no-go. So strict 7 o'clock bell time. So make sure you come out and check us out, guys. We got some great talent. And I see them all like continuing, like a guy like Brian Keith, right? In the last couple years has become like a hot commodity all around the states. Like people talk about Brian Keith in California, in New York, in Philadelphia. They want to get Brian. We got to book Brian Keith, to a show. I mean, it's hard for him to get dates now. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
We got to book him a year in advance. It's just probably cool for you to see some of your guys that have been, especially Brian Keith, been since a teenager.
Yeah, yeah,
Getting on.
no doubt, man. Watching these guys grind, and they still show much love to reality of wrestling, showing back up to where they started. That's really really cool. That's what reality of wrestling, I think, is all about. I got so many young guys that's high caliber talent that could be, in AEW or WWE right now, but just waiting on that opportunity, waiting on that knock, and trust me, when that knock comes, they will be ready to answer it. So come check out some Texas finest stars at Reality Wrestling this weekend. 10,000 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway. It's going to be on. Going forward. I can promise the Road Nation chaos.
Chaos. We'll see.
Yeah,
See what happens. You know what
yeah,
I mean? We'll see if chaos is brought
yeah.
here soon at the Tech City World Gym Arena. Again, by the way, everybody in the chat right now, shout out where you're watching from. Give us your city, state, country, zip code. We want to know where you are. If you have a question for myself, Booker T, obviously the Hall of Fame here about pro wrestling, MMA, or life in general, make sure you super chat it in and we will read that question and answer it here on the show. We talked about a lot on last episode, Book. And I know there's a few things out there. There's a big return to AEW. There's some talk about some of the most important title changes in pro wrestling history on television. There was Ric Flair talking about how he wish that wasn't called his last match because it sounds like he wants to wrestle maybe again. You never know with the Nature Boy. A lot going on. Where should we start? Where do you want to start, Book?
Probably want to start with Rick, you know what I mean? Because Rick actually commented about, what I had said about his last match. And I think Rick knows that more importantly than anything. I love him. Ric Flair's he's a friend of mine. He's a guy that, there again, in WCW, I had to earn Ric Flair's respect. He wasn't a guy that just was looking to, come my way or anything like that. And I remember when I finally got a chance to wrestle Ric Flair one-on-one in the ring, and I learned so much that night. And then finally becoming the world champion, and Ric Flair and I don't know, it seemed like that bonded us a little bit more. And to see him out in the ring, still doing it, at that last match, I tell you, man, it was hard. It was hard for me to watch. It really was, and it's hard for me to even talk about it. Actually, you know what I mean? Because there again, I respect the guy so much, and and more importantly, I want to see him still here. You know what I mean? I don't think that ring is more important than that, from my perspective. You know what I mean? So I'm just glad that he knew that I was speaking from someone who cared about him more than someone who was just trying to get some clicks from talking about him.
Yeah. I mean, look, we went into real great detail about Ric Flair's last match and what we thought about it, and people it seemed to be polarized. I think that some people were like, okay, it wasn't great. It was some people called it terrible, the worst thing, an embarrassment. I'm not in that camp at all. Like, was I frightened at certain points? Absolutely. Was I elated in some ways for him to have like a final send off that he felt good about? Yeah. I mean, I don't like hearing that he wanted to wrestle the next week. You know what I mean? And and he talked himself out of it with the colognes down in Puerto Rico. I mean, but I guess you're like, man, I just got into shape. I can go on another run.
No,
but that's the wrestler talking, right?
That is the wrestler talking. That's just totally the wrestler talking right there. And I get it. I get it 100%. But there again, I don't know, man. Some things you should let rest. Some things you should put to rest and just say, hey, man, I had a hell of a run. You know what I mean? Hell of a run. Well, you're in the Hall of Fame, guys, and you're about to get a hell of a run. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
See what Harlem Heat, it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about the fame. It was about the reckoning.
Edge, you have a big match tonight. Tell me, what's going on in your mind?
This is summer. Hey, kid. Did a good job out there, man. Maybe next time, though. Hey, what do you know about it next time? Boy, you crazy? Hey, back up. Hey, back up. Come on. Lost your mind. Come on. Come on. I got your number.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Where should we start, Brad? What should we start?
You know what? I want to actually keep on this topic of Flair, but shift it a little bit.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, we know that Ric Flair had his last match. It was promoted as Ric Flair's last match. We know that you were even approached about Booker T's last match. It's not going to happen. But I'm talking about any guy who's, past, present, or future, but mainly any guy from the past, they don't living or, dead or alive, essentially. If you could see somebody have their one last match, who is a name that you wish you could see wrestle?
I don't know, man.
Because I have one on mine, but I just didn't know if there was somebody who you always said, man, I would love to have seen such and such, whether that be freaking Gorgeous George on back, or Ernie Ladd, or any of those guys.
Well, I saw most of those guys.
Oh, okay. I forget you're old. No,
No, but I saw Ernie Ladd, of course. You know what I mean. I didn't get a chance to see guys like Gorgeous George or anything like that. But I don't know. I don't have any guys that, for me, that I was like, man, I love to see him work again. It's not like a concert or anything like that. It's not like a boxing match. Wrestling for me has always been, the greatest form of entertainment that I've been a part of, for the last 32 years almost. And that's just the way I've looked at it. But when I say, man, I wish I had, got a chance to see, certain, just like say, for instance, never got a chance to see the Eagles, play live. And I love to see the Eagles or Steely Dan. Man, I love to see Steely Dan. You know what I mean? I got a chance to see Elton John. I went to Vegas and watched his act in Vegas. And I was like, man, this is awesome, man, to the utmost. But from a wrestler perspective, I don't think anybody can take me to a place that I haven't been already, if you know what I mean. I
hear you. On the music front, just to follow up on that, I actually saw the Eagles play live in Austin, Texas in about 2011 or 12.
You don't remember that.
I do. And I was in the middle of a crowd of about 70,000 people at Austin City Limits. And to have 70,000 people singing Hotel California at the same time, right? Yeah. I haven't gone to a festival since, because I said there's no way I will ever top that moment, of singing Hotel California with 70,000 people as Don Henley, drums and sings it with us. It was incredible. But going to who I'd like to see a last match of, there's one person who I never got to see perform live, and that is, of course, the Macho Man, Randy Savage. To have Macho have his send-off. Because if I were to ask you, Book, what's Macho Man's last match? I don't know if anybody remembers. And I think it might have been a 6-man tag in TNA. I actually think that might have been the Macho Man's last match, unless he did an indie shot somewhere. And to me, his legacy, and this is no disrespect to TNA, but his legacy, man, should have had that final send-off of the Macho Man, before he had to ride off into the sunset. Right? Wouldn't that have been great?
I get that. I mean, I like the idea, but I get that. I mean, if I can see Macho work again, it will be. I mean, that's just one of those, one of those dreams, man. That that would never come true. Maybe that's why I don't think that way. But I would love to see, Kurt Hennig, in the ring again. I'd love to see Ravishing Rick Rude, do the hip thrust just one more time. You know what I mean? With somebody's, face on his rear end. You know what I mean? It was awesome, man, watching those guys do their thing. So I would love to see those guys, just one more time in the ring doing the thing. But that's just a dream,
You bring up Rick Rude and how he would have people airbrush on his tights, right? And always be putting them in some sort of negative light. I even remember when he had his feud with Jake the Snake Roberts, he actually had Jake's wife airbrushed on his crotch.
Yeah.
I'm sure he cleared that with Jake beforehand.
But
maybe not. I don't know how that would make me feel. I mean, Rick Rude, I don't know if he did that when he was in WCW. Did he have the airbrush tights in WCW?
No, he didn't have the airbrush, yeah.
How would that have made you feel to have your face airbrushed on Rick Rude's tights?
You know what? I just wish I would have thought of the idea.
It's a great gimmick.
It's a great gimmick. It's a great act. And the guy like Rick Rude, he could pull it off because he had that look, man. I mean, he had that rugged, handsome look, and I mean, he had the body to go with it. And he's, a legitimate tough guy. So, yeah, man, I would have loved to, got a chance to see Rick Rude do his thing one more time.
Rick Rude kind of had that Tom Selleck, Burt Reynolds kind of thing going on, right? Like, the mustache and that rugged handsomeness. Like,
yeah, he did, but no doubt, you didn't doubt for 1 second, if Rick Rude was the top guy.
Right.
Top guy. Yeah, top guy, man. And guys like that, they didn't have to do a whole lot. You just knew, you know what I mean? And he was one of them.
And the thing about Rick Rude is, if you were asking me, what's my favorite Rick Rude match? Or, hey, what was your favorite move that he did? I couldn't name it to you. Like, I couldn't tell you my favorite Rick Rude match, or or even the Rude Awakening, or, the finish, or whatever. Like, I don't even remember any of that. I just remember the character. I remember the Atlantic City Sweat Hogs, and, more so how he talked, and the name and the entrance. Ravishing Rick Rude. Just a consummate pro wrestler. I actually don't think he gets enough. He doesn't get enough love. He doesn't get enough love, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's just because I think because Rick Rude, he left us like so unexpected. It's like a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like his career was here, but it seemed like, man, it's almost like a ghost. You know what I mean? It was there, but it was, but you don't remember a whole lot about it. But you remember everything about Rick Rude. It's one of those type of deals. So yeah, man, he definitely go down as one of the all-time greats.
Ravishing Rick. Well, y'all let us know in the comments or in the chat who you would like to see one last match for. That would definitely be interesting topic of conversation. I do see some super chats rolling in here that we'll address here in a minute. There's also another story out there I want to ask you about, talking about somebody having a last match or coming back to the squared circle. There are rumors on the internets of the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, making his return to the WWE. A lot of people think it's a sure thing. Of course, we know Bray Wyatt was let go in the summer of 2021, I believe, from the WWE. And there was rumors at the time that he and Vince weren't seeing eye to eye on anything. But would you be open, and do you think it's time for a Bray Wyatt return?
Oh man, I'd be up for that 100% to see Bray Wyatt back in the WWE. I think the way Bray has left everybody with cliffhanger, wondering, what is Bray Wyatt going to do? Where is Bray Wyatt? He's one of those guys that you haven't heard a whole lot about at all since leaving WWE. No statements, nothing on Twitter, no memes or anything like that. He's just been a guy that just been buying his time, probably spending some of that money that he made with WWE, enjoying that life for a minute, because knowing, once he stepped back in it, it's going to be, right back to work. Whether he stepped into WWE or AEW, I'm sure the place for a guy like The Fiend is WWE. Okay. I don't know if what he does or if he would have to change anything if he went over to AEW or not. But I think he fits perfectly back in the system. And, to get him back will be definitely a bonus. What do you think about, staying kind of like on that same subject, what about a Braun Strowman? Would you want to see him back?
Would I want to see him back?
Yeah.
Look, if I'm just keeping it a buck and keeping it a bean, like I have not missed Braun Strowman from television. But I'm not opposed to him coming back. But like when somebody leaves, like Bray Wyatt, I felt left a void, right?
Oh man!
Hey, don't look. I'm not trying to hate on the guy at all.
Brad said that. Okay, Brad said it.
I'm just being honest. Like I haven't missed.
I just want everybody to know. Okay. It's like Brad said.
And what? And what?
I ain't missed his ass at all. Those are his words, and I quote.
What? Well, let me flip it on you. What do you think?
I haven't missed.
Logan.
I know somebody gonna pick that up and run with it.
Well, I'm just being honest.
How many times have I said it though? Out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind. 100%.
Out of sight, out of mind. You leave TV, and you go on for more than a significant amount of time. People will forget about you like that in a heartbeat. That's why I was always about trying to stay on TV. Was always trying to make sure I was in the mix. When WCW folded, I said, "Man, I'm gonna keep going because the iron is hot, and I got to keep it rolling." I said, "Man, I could have stayed off over a year and collected money, just like an ATM." But I said, "Man, let me get out of here and make this work." Hey guys, we got to take a quick break. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a sec.
Wrestling is also brought to you by one of our major sponsors, Jerome Karam and Karam Investments for the Mainland City Center. Mainland City Center features 750,000 square feet of commercial property where you can eat, you can have fun, you can be entertained for the whole family. Mainland City Center is a Galveston County family entertainment and lifestyle destination for the whole family to enjoy. Mainland City Center, lifestyle, fun, entertainment, family. You can visit them online at mainlandcitycenter.com. That's mainlandcitycenter.com. Paid monetary spokesperson for Walker, Texas lawyer.
Hall of Famer Booker T here, and I've been crushing opponents in the ring for over 20 years. But Walker, Texas lawyer, been crushing insurance companies in the courtroom for over 30. If you're injured, call Walker, and he'll crush the insurance company for you. Now, can you dig that? Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We just rolling, man. We just rolling, talking about anything that you guys want to talk about. But first and foremost, do not miss your chance to check out some Reality of Wrestling live going down this Saturday night, 10,000 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway. If you're anywhere in the Houston and surrounding areas, you can catch it late night on Saturday nights on CW. Or you can just, there it is. Or you can just DVR whatnot. But check out your Reality of Wrestling. We need that little rating, guys. So DVR it, check it out, so we can get that little click, because we looking for a better slot. We looking for a better time slot, and we need you guys to actually help get it there. Make sure you look here. I don't care if you send letters to CW. Let them know how much you guys love some Reality of Wrestling.
Yeah, a big shout out to CW and everybody over there for making that show happen. Shout out to Walker Tex, Lawyer Gene, everybody over there at the show
Oh,
at the station. We really appreciate y'all. We were talking about people coming back, Bray Wyatt being one of them, Braun Strowman,
Strowman.
being out there. And look, I'm not trying to clean this up at all.
EC3. What about him? You want to see him back?
No.
You don't want to see EC3 back?
Look, no, I don't. I'll be honest with you.
Come on, man. What didn't you like about EC3?
The list of what I did like would be much shorter. At least with how they presented him on television. The way he was presented on television on Raw made me not care about anything.
Tell me this: did you like EC3 in TNA?
It would be hard for me to say because I never saw it. I'm just being honest.
I just wondering, man.
You want me to fake the funk here, or should we just give real talk? What was my favorite EC3 match in TNA? I don't have one because I never saw one. But
yeah. What about the Authors of Pain?
You know, look, Authors of Pain, I'm a little bit more on. I like when they were with Precious Paul Ellering, when they put him with what was his name on WWE television? Oh crap, I can't. The shorter blonde guy, Drake Maverick.
Maverick, yeah.
Drake Maverick.
Yeah.
Drake Maverick. When they put him with him, I didn't like because next thing you know, Drake Maverick is pissing his pants on TV, and it's like, what are we doing? But when Paul Ellering had AOP, I actually thought that could be something.
Yeah,
Don't let these guys talk. Let them go in there, F people up like the Road Warriors, right?
Yeah.
I mean, not that they were at that caliber or even at that level, but a similar vibe. Let Paul Ellering take it. And you know, when they took him away on the first night, it kind of reminds me now of when they put Karrion Kross out there the first night and he loses in 90 seconds to a roll-up from Jeff Hardy. And then next thing you know, he's wearing an S&M gladiator mask on TV. It was just like, I know that you want to put your spin on it and want to like try to get it to the next level, but sometimes if it ain't broke book, we don't fix it.
Yeah. AOP, what do you think about the wrestling organization that they tried to start that never got off the ground? There's a lot of wrestlers out there right now are still pretty hot about, you know, these guys, you know, talking about putting on the show, counseling, counseling. Man, I don't know what makes people think it's easy to run a wrestling organization. I mean, talent is the hardest thing to deal with in this business. You know, that's why I work with a lot of young guys. I don't need talent. I'm just playing.
We got talent, but
I'm just playing. You know what I mean?
No, but here's the big difference in reality wrestling is this, and it's not just us putting our own promotion over, but so many people are homegrown, right? So we all come up within a certain system where we understand that we're all working for each other, not against one another, right? My job is just as important as the referee or the ring announcer or the main event or you or the writers or the cameraman. Like, we all understand we're on an equal playing field. I will say in the times where we've promoted people, promoted shows that aren't just our homegrown talent and people are coming in from different places, that's when we have problems.
Yeah, that's when every time. When guys come in thinking they know exactly, and the thing is, it's a system. That's why I think we work really, really, really well together, is because we work a system, not just matches. Guys coming in wanting to do their stuff, go out and get their spots in. No, it's not about that. So yeah, I totally understandable. I was just wondering, man, because like I said, people today, like in a heartbeat, want to start a wrestling promotion. And I'm gonna tell you, man, if you think it's easy, you better have a lot of money. You better have a lot of money to lose. First of all.
What was that promotion that was running in Austin that everybody was talking about, like Wrestle Circus? And everybody's talking about it. Oh, they got this. They're bringing all this talent in. And what happened? They lasted what? 2 months, 3 months, 6 months.
That's about 8
year.
months. 8 months a year.
I mean,
yeah. Even the group in Dallas, those guys.
SWE.
They were doing a lot of big things, and then all of a sudden, bringing in talent from all over, ex-WWE guys, ex-ECW, WCW, WW, whatever W. They wanted them, and those guys normally are high dollar to the point to where, you know, you don't have that kind of budgets because you're not bringing in that kind of crowd. Your television is not that big to where you can actually make enough revenue off of it to actually sustain something like that. So I've seen so many guys start promotions and say, man, I'm gonna put WWE out of business. I'm like, you out of your freaking mind, man. Stay in your lane, and you might have something at the end of the day. And I think that's what we've done with reality of wrestling. We've stayed in our lane, and we've tried not to be like anything else other than reality of wrestling.
I'll tell this story. I remember we were at the old gym in Winkler, 9183 or whatever it was, Winkler, you know, Sweet C or something like that. We were at the old gym and we were in your office, and there were the power players at the time. I was relatively new, so I was just sitting there and listening, right? But somebody in the room pitched, "Hey, what if we do a big super show where we bring in all kinds of talent from outside, name guys? We do a big tent show, right?" And this is the first time I ever heard you put your foot down rather adamantly, and we're very purposeful with your language with this particular individual, I will say. And you said, "Look, we are going to grow our own stars. I don't need all these other guys who are, you know, on the indies trying to, you know, get a buck. That's not what we're going to do here. We're going to build our own stars." And at the time, although I thought it was noble, I said, "Well, how are we going to do that? Like, people don't know who these people are. Like, you want to draw a crowd, you bring in a big name, right? That's how it's always happened with any show, not just wrestling, any show, right? You bring in a big name." And lo and behold, this is now a kind of an inside joke between the director Kevin and I. Be like, even if you think Booker's wrong, he's going to end up being right. So you might as well go along with it. He's going to end up being right. So let's just not challenge him on it, because
hey, bro, it's going
to pan out.
We got our homegrown stars too, man. We got our guys that right now are highly sought around the world. And, you know, it was so cool to watch my girl, Rachel Rose, on WWE TV just a couple of weeks ago. She was a referee on one scene, and then she was a doctor in the next. I was like, wow, this is what I'm talking about. My girl is well-rounded enough to actually play multiple roles. You know what I mean? And that's what reality of wrestling is really, truly all about. And to see that was just eye-opening for me as what we're trying to do at reality wrestling.
And speaking of, not to get another row plug in, but we are running now a special referee course at Reality of Wrestling. If you want to learn how to officiate in professional wrestling and be the man or the woman with the black and white striped shirt, we're running a special right now of a referee training course. You can go to realitywrestling.com for all the information on that. Something new that we're trying out, but have had, I can't tell you how many requests of people wanting to learn how to be a referee.
I went in there last week. It was one guy, 50 years old. He lasted about 10 minutes.
Yo, you got to be in shape to be a ref.
Yeah, bro. He lasted about 10 minutes. Once he realized he had to work out, he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm out. Thank you very much."
Like some guys, you know, a lot of the best referees, at least, you know, in the last 10 or 15 years, they've all been workers. Maybe they weren't, you know, big name guys, but people who came from the indies went into WWE and NXT, and then they said, "Hey, why don't you try reffing?" I remember Scott Armstrong was a referee in WWE for a long time. He's a damn good referee.
Hey,
and you know how
because he was a good worker.
Because he was a good worker, and that's what I was about to say. And you know when they're a great referee because you notice the matches that they ref, right? Yeah. If you see this guy ref in a Taker Mania match, it's because not only is he great at what he does, the people in the match trust him.
Hey, man.
And speak to that as a referee.
No, Nick Patrick was my guy, man. 90%, at least 85% of my matches, I requested Nick Patrick to be my guy, just because I trusted him, man. I knew I could deliver something to him, and he would get the message across, you know, perfect, you know, in perfect timing. I go back to the match that I won the world title from Rey Mysterio, the referee Nick Patrick. And I remember Nick Patrick, I threw Rey Mysterio into Nick Patrick, and Nick Patrick took a bump off the turnbuckle, under the bottom, through the middle and the bottom rope, to the outside, all the way to the other end of the turnbuckle before he finally found his landing spot. And I was like, that dude, that's a worker, bro. He made everything, all the attention went to him. And I was like, wow, what a worker, man. What a worker. We got to take a break. We got to take a break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Every time I see myself do that spin-a-rooney, man, every time I see that, I go, man, I wonder if I can still do it.
When was your last attempt? Was it?
That might have been it. I'm serious. that game right there, that might have been it. Seriously.
That might have been the last spin-a-rooney on record. I remember it was several years ago. You retared it, and then you brought it out of retirement, and then you retired it again.
Just like a wrestler, you know what I mean? You know, like Ric Flair. Always wanted looking for one last Rudy, man. One last Rudy. See if I get one last pop. But I don't know, man. Every now and then I still think about doing it though.
Well, I want to say this because this is breaking right now, so we might as well bring it up here. We've been talking about bringing talent back, and this is a report from FightfulSelect.com and Sean Ross Sapp, who says that PW Insider reported today that Top Dollar and Ashanti the Adonis were actively planned to be at this week's SmackDown tapings to some degree. Fightful Select has confirmed those are the working plans, though we don't know in what context they would be brought in. We did confirm that AJ Francis / Top Dollar's claim is that he hasn't been working on the A&E Most Wanted Treasure show in recent months, and Mick Foley was a part of the project at some point. Okay, that's unrelated, but it sounds like Top Dollar and Ashanti might be coming back to the WWE now that, you know, we're kind of back on we're on a hiring spree, a rehiring spree.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I like it. You know, I mean, I always like what Top Dollar was doing, man. I mean, I'm a big fan of the kid. Got a chance to work with him on the WWE and Treasures, and him and I really got a chance to bond from a perspective where I could see that he's somebody, you know, in the business we call smart, and he can actually pick this up and do something with it. He's very athletic, and just to be given a shot would be, that's you know, number one, you know, as far as I'm concerned, just give him a shot, because I ain't talking about his wrestling or anything like that. You know, his wrestling it is going to be what it is. This dude can talk, man. This dude is talent. He's multi-talented. So to be able to use that in this world of you know, wrestling the way we do it now, you know, bringing in guys like Bad Bunny, it's just perfectly fitting for someone like him to actually, you know, see exactly how far he can go with this.
again, I thought when they got released, it was one of those, wait, what?
Yeah.
Didn't they just debut? And it didn't
Yeah.
seem like they got a good, uh, good shot at
Well,
proving
I
what they
take
could do.
well, this is what I said. I said these guys are different than anything that we've seen on television in quite some time, and from a African American audience, we need somebody like those guys to be able to go out there and represent, and they did it in a way that it wasn't a turnoff or anything like that. It made me feel like. I think when people saw Harlem Heat come out, they knew somebody was finna get a beat down more than anything, and it was going to be fun watching. And that's where I felt when I watched, those guys come out and do their thing.
I like the whole, hit row or death row kind of thing of it, right? Is
Yeah,
what it kind of felt like a collective, and he was the Suge Knight of the group,
yeah,
kind of thing. I do wonder, how do I say this? I do wonder some of the released talent who went and signed with AEW. I wonder if they're happy like with the decision, because a lot of people's lifelong goal was to get to WWE, right? And you get released from there, and then you say, okay, let me just go jump over to what's it called, whatever, like, to me, and this is just my honest opinion, Claudio, if he would have stayed with WWE under a Triple H regime, is in the world title picture, right? Like, that's just what I see. William Regal is still an important part of NXT. Samoa Joe is still in W. You know what I mean? Like, if had Triple H been in, in power, I mean, we could play the what if game all day. Those guys aren't in AEW or Ring of Honor, right? Like,
yeah.
am I wrong with that?
Perhaps, yeah, you're perhaps right.
So I just wonder, like, if they're like, oh man, how long is this deal?
Yeah,
I don't know. And I'm not saying they're unhappy with AEW, because look, now Cesaro has his first major singles title, at a heavyweight world title level, the Ring of Honor world title. So maybe they're thrilled.
Look, man, I hope Claudio didn't go over there thinking that was going to be, something that was going to make him happy to win the ROH World Championship. Okay, that's not it. That's not why we do this. I'm sure Claudio would have loved to have stayed in the WWE. Circumstances didn't work out. If Triple H would have been in power, would things have been different? Perhaps. You know what I mean? We can only speculate on that right there. But I do know Claudio is a player. I do know Cesaro would have been a guy that was, as far as I'm concerned, if I'm booking, if I'm promoting it, he's high on my list. As far as guy that's around the World Championship and hovering around that picture on a weekly, yearly, monthly basis. Yeah, because he's a guy that can play that role, and I need more than 3 guys that could play that role. You know what I mean? I need several guys that could play that role. That's what made Hogan so big back in the day, because he had so many guys that he could play with. You know what I mean? So many guys that he can go out and dance with. From the Dino Bravos, to the, the Pipers to, the Savages. You know what I mean? He had, the Bundys, the Andres. It was so many guys. The Paul Orn, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff. People don't realize how big Mr. Wonderful was. Mr. Wonderful was a star. He was like one of the biggest stars in WWE history, as far as I'm concerned, because that's the way I looked at him back in the day. So Hogan had so many guys to be able to sustain that multi-year run. And I think, Cesaro would have been a great player, to be one of those guys to just say, for instance, Iron Sheik wasn't going to be the guy all the time, but it wouldn't have been a Hulk Hogan the way Hulk, was portrayed and what Hulk became if it wasn't for an Iron Sheik.
If it wasn't for a Yokozuna, if it wasn't for a Sid Vicious, right? If it wasn't for all the Sergeant Slaughter, Like, I'm thinking of just the guys he wrestled for the world title at WrestleMania.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. I mean, it's the kind of that's what I mean. That with guys like Cesaro, guys like Sheamus, you know, you got to groom those guys to make sure people look at them a certain way all the time. You can never stop looking at those guys, and I call it that made man effect. You know, once you're a made man, you know you made until they kill you.
So they whack you like they did Joe Pesci,
right? You feel me?
Casino.
So I think with certain guys like a Cesaro, definitely a guy that should be thought of and looked at in that aspect.
He was on a good trajectory. I you know, and again, I don't know what the reason was. They let his contract expire or what have you. You know, it's not really my business. But I just wonder if some of these guys are thinking, "Oh man, if only I had waited 6 months or 3 months."
You know what? The door is going to always be opening for a guy like that. You know, to come back. I'm sure. You know, when the time is right. Hopefully, he's not locked in to like a super long contract or anything like that. You never know. But
some of these guys on that AEW roster are signed to 2027, as far as what I've heard. I mean, there was a list that was published recently. I think a couple of them, like Kenny Omega and Jericho's deals are up next year, but most guys are 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. Like, they're locked in for a minute.
Hey, man, they're playing for the long haul. And, you know, you should. I mean, if you're going to do something like this, you want to definitely play your cards right and get your players in place. And it seemed like at least they're doing that part right.
What's the longest, if you don't mind sharing, what's the longest contract you ever signed?
In my, during my run was 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah.
Like, I know you mentioned on a couple of shows ago, you just signed like a 10-year deal.
Well, that's my last deal. That's my golden parachute deal. You know, to ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Deal. Yeah. But that's the longest deal I've ever signed. But throughout my contract, it was always a 3-year deal. And Impact, well, TNA, I signed a 2-year deal when I was in Impact. Yeah.
Are you surprised to hear some guys are signed through 2027? Does that not seem like a long time?
Nah, man, when you're young, man, and somebody throw a contract in your face, you know, you look at the dollars, and those dollars normally going to amount to dollars that you've never made in your life. You're going to say, okay, let's ride with this. I'm getting a bump here. Oh, yeah, that's good. You know, a lot of people are happy, I think, being in AEW. I really do. I think this AEW thing definitely opened the door for a lot of guys and made it a whole lot more comfortable for a lot of guys because, you know, I talk to you all the time about it, man. That WWE grind, you gotta be careful what you wish for, because it's a monster, you know, and you got to be 100% ready for something like that. So yeah, I get it. You know, like one of my kids, Rex Andrews, he said, man, I'm gonna sit this one out. You know, when I thought he could have been a great talent in WWE right now, doing big things, but rather say I'm gonna sit this one out. I get it. You got to be ready for that. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and Diego De La Cruz now, obviously the veteran here between the two. Wait a minute. Head scissor. Les hits a head scissor. That takes some crazy athleticism. Splash. Les is showing us what he's got. Oh my gosh, cover 1, 2, and oh man. Aiden Cristiano there, and now it's Bedlam. It's Bedlam. It's a brawl. It's a brawl here at the Summer of Champions.
Go keto.
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me, coming to you from ESPN 97.5, 92.5, giving it to you on the real, guys. It's all about the truth.
Yeah. I like it.
I like that.
I like it.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Look,
sound like one of these big time networks. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, I like it.
Fair and balanced. You know,
the Situation Room.
we're in the Situation Room.
I had so much fun last time on the kickoff show. This YouTuber came on and I was like, they're introducing him. And I go, wait a minute. I thought that was Wolf Blitzer. Oh, man, he did look like Wolf Blitzer a little bit. He just
without the grays.
Yeah, he just needed a little more gray.
Little white hair. I saw that.
Man,
that was at SummerSlam, right?
Oh man, I had so much fun doing that stuff. Yeah.
Wolf Blitzer, man. Look, this is the go home show to the weekend. Again, if you're in the Houston, Texas area, you're listening to us right now on the beautiful ESPN 975. I want to remind you that we have a massive television taping for the CW network going on tomorrow night. You're going to see Booker T's Reality of Wrestling, the greatest wrestling company on the Gulf Coast, I think is what we said. We're the flagship of Texas wrestling. But
the flagship, baby, the flagship. The best thing going.
The best thing going today. So we're going to talk about some of that reality wrestling action you can come see, but make sure you check it out at realitywrestling.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We appreciate all 612,000 of you who've done so. Let's make it 1 million. Let's make it 1 million. I want that big goal.
We need it. We need 1 million. We need it. And we need you guys. You know what the thing is? Do it now. Because you know why? I do it for you.
That's right. Hey, Book, we have super chats that we need to answer and get into.
It.
And I want to do that.
Now.
When? Do you want to do it now? Because I had something else.
Oh, okay. What you got?
Well, one thing I wanted to talk about was there was a list that was put out. The list was the top 5 biggest. I want to read the exact thing. The top 5 biggest cable TV title changes in wrestling history. So mainly a massive title change of the world title is going to happen on a pay-per-view, right? But I'm saying normally it happens on a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
But rare times do you get a televised world title match, and even rarer times do you see a title change on free television.
Yeah.
Right? It's very rare. I sent you this list. I want to talk about a couple of them. One, obviously, in particular. But I think, was it more common that these big TV matches happened in the 90s because of the wrestling wars? Were y'all just trying to outdo each other so much, like for a rating, that a lot of times you're like, just give them the world title match? Because I've heard, one of these matches is obviously Hogan and Goldberg. And I heard Goldberg find out on Thursday that he was going to be wrestling Hogan for the world title on Monday in the Georgia Dome in front of 40,000 people, right? And a lot of times it was trying to get a big television rating, I would assume, right?
Well, in his hometown at the same time.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
So yeah, that had a lot of, lot going on as far as that match goes. But as far as world title matches, even back then, you didn't get a whole lot of world title matches on television. And then when you did get a world title match on TV, you knew exactly what was going to happen. Belt wasn't going to change, something was going to happen, shenanigans, whatnot. Yeah. So it was rare. It was definitely a rare thing. Just like for instance, when I won the world title, I made a bold claim to I want to defend the world title on television every week.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something that, too many guys didn't do. I said I was going to defend the title in house shows. I just went all the way out, just was stupid, you know what I mean? Because they had my butt working out. over the place at that time. But yeah, it was rare to see the world champion on television. Just like when you did see Hogan back in the day, it was a Saturday night main event. It was not just regular, television. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here are some of those big matches. Obviously, one of them was actually number 5 was Roman Reigns defeating Sheamus for the WWE title on December 14th, 2015. I remember that one, but not so vividly. Lex Luger defeating Hollywood Hogan for the WCW championship made the list. But the one I wanted to talk about, of course, number 2 was Hogan and Goldberg. Number 1 was The Rock and Mankind, where Tony Schiavone infamously said, let's put some butts in the seats, or that'll put some butts in the seats. One I want to talk about, though, number 3 on the list, Booker T defeats Scott Steiner for the WCW championship on the final Nitro. You were the United States champion going into it. In winning, this is what the article says, Booker T established himself as the torchbearer for WCW, and and its roster and intellectual property then merged with the WWE. It was a huge step toward Booker T becoming one of the most successful stars in WCW history and one of the most successful WCW stars to cross over to the WWE. I want to talk about that match. What do you remember about the final Nitro? Why were you given the title? Why did they take it away from Scott? Do you feel like it was a very important TV match for a world title? Kind of give me your analysis.
Well, first of all, I think I was the most successful crossover from WCW.
Yeah, I don't know who else would be.
Let's get that out of the way off the top. Okay, I think I'm the most successful crossover from WCW to WWF to WWE to now. Okay, as far as the makeup of that match between Scott and I, it was something that Scott didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was happening. We both was just happened to be in that position. Me having the United States Championship, him having the World Championship, him and I having no angle or anything like that. And then other than we've had matches and whatnot, but for that match to come to fruition, it was something that the powers that be wanted, and I just happened to be the recipient that day, and it just happened to be the guy to walk away, closing down a company, as the world heavyweight champion and the United States champion at the same time, simultaneously. You couldn't write that script. For me, I was like wondering what the hell is happening here. But I knew it was a moment for me that was going to catapult me to the stratosphere of the business. I knew it was going to, make me a made man. I just had to go out and perform that night and get through it. And I had a really, really good partner to go out there and get that done with, which was Scotty Steiner, my former tag team partner. And Steiner and I, we want to go together. So he knows what it's all about. We had a hell of a time that night, but it was a lot of apprehension because everybody was wondering, what's next. The company's shutting down. Where we going? What's going to happen here?
Yeah, and I'm sure Scott. I know he was one of the guys who took the year, right? Who just stayed home.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, did you talk to any of the guys about that? Did you talk to them like, hey, are you going to take the year and stay home? Are you going to take the pay cut? Are you going to do the buyout? What are you going to do?
No, I didn't talk to anybody. I wasn't close enough to anybody back then to talk about what they were going to do from a financial perspective. It wasn't like that. I didn't have it. I wasn't that friendly. It was about business, and I found myself in a great position. Myself personally, I could have took the money and stayed at home, but I felt like, man, I could take the buyout and I could make more than I would have made sitting at home if this thing worked out properly. So I banked on myself to go out there and win. And I banked on myself as far as, how talented are you? Let's see how good you really are. It was one of those type of deals, and for me, it was a challenge. I wanted to test myself. So the money I gave up, it was just a drop in the hat compared to the money that I made that year with WWE.
That is listed though again as one of the most important TV title changes or world title changes on free television in history. Out of the other ones on the list, what sticks out to you? Let me ask you this actually better. What's the bigger one? Hogan losing the title to Goldberg or The Rock losing the title to Mankind?
Of course, The Rock losing to Mankind, because no one thought that was going to happen. Even Tony Schiavone thought that was just a throwaway match. It was to make Mick Foley look like a whatever, and that's where wrestling, and that's where the wrestling fans are able to flip the script and change the whole name of the game, and show you how much a guy like Mick Foley is appreciated. I think that's what that night was all about, giving Mick Foley his flowers, man, giving him his shine, and he went out and captured his champagne wishes and caviar dreams, baby. Stick around, you're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We just moseying along, talking about everything in sports and entertainment. I know you guys got a lot of super chats coming in, and we're going to be ready to take them in a minute. Brad, I thought you were going to send me my new earphones, man. I didn't get them. I'm going to give them. I tried to plug something in earlier today. I went to plug something in. I thought I had my new earphones, but I just had these. That's all I had. All I had was these right here. That's all I had. See, look at this. This is it. This is it right here. This is all I got.
You mean you didn't have these?
I did try to. I thought these. Yeah, I just want to let you know that. Yeah.
Don't worry. That you'll be receiving them shortly.
I'm just checking.
Look. Don't get hot about it.
No, I'm just saying. I went to plug in, my earphone, my new headset, and I went to put them on, and these just dangled from my ears. I was just saying. I thought I was losing it. That's all it was.
That's all it was. Well, maybe you are losing it. We'll find out. Eddie Murphy is joining us here. Eddie Murphy says, so every show since Triple H's reign, we've seen at least one release NXT star return. How many more / who will we see in the next few months? Should he slow down? I think Keith Lee's on a little bit of a contract there that might prevent such.
I'm just playing, man. Should he slow down? No, I don't think he should slow down, because I think a lot of the guys that got let go, a lot of those guys had a lot of interest. Like the Aleister Blacks. Okay, I mean, Aleister Black had a lot of interest, especially with that NXT brand. I mean, I could be wrong. I think bringing back selective guys like Io Sky, she's talent, man. I mean, she's got a flavor when she walk out of the curtain, and just her interest alone make you want to watch her. Okay, I'm serious. Dakota Kai. I mean, Dakota Kai just looked like she just want to burn something up. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. You know what I mean? So, bringing back the selective group of guys that are gonna, pop the crowd. Cody Rhodes, yeah, keep the hits coming, baby. Keep the hits coming.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I appreciate the super chat there.
You
I
might,
don't
you
know if
might, you might want to call Triple H Motown right now.
the hits just keep coming. That's funny. I don't know if I can think of one in particular, though, who I'm like, oh, they should definitely bring back blank from NXT. I'm trying to think. I mean, obviously, everybody wants to see Johnny Gargano back. At least when I say everybody, that's the talk of like the wrestling Twitter world.
Yeah.
Is Gargano coming back? He even did a panel at the Ric Flair's weekend, the Starcast weekend, that said Johnny Gargano, what's next? And it was in the black and gold, letters. He's been very strategic. He hasn't signed with AEW.
Yeah.
It would seem to be that Triple H and he have a pretty close relationship.
Yeah. You know what? I can see Gargano coming back. And me personally, I'm not going to sit here and say I knew a whole lot about Gargano or anything, but I do know that the NXT fan base, they loved him.
Yeah.
I do know that. Johnny Wrestling. That right there definitely made people feel a certain way about the guy. So he's got something. And he's played his cards very, very well, played them real close to the vest. So him coming back to WWE, I could see that. And I think it'll be a good place for him.
I think right now, with the regime that's in charge, I think it would be the best place. I know AEW is still signing talent.
But just think about it for a second, man. Most of the guys just signing with AEW, those guys getting lost in the shuffle. Right there, it's a lot of friction going on over there. Guys are claiming to be unhappy. You know what I mean? And that's the thing too. You got to understand something about this business. Especially having a boatload of talent on the roster. Everybody's not going to be able to eat at the same time.
Right.
And that's the problem right there. When guys not eating, they wondering, man, what's up, man? Why I'm not getting any? Why am I getting all the scraps? Why am I getting leftovers here? They start getting hot about it, and that kind of stuff could have a ripple effect. And right now, we're seeing a little bit of that in AEW. In WWE, when you sign that contract, you better know that. You better know that it's not going to always be your time. You're not going to always be eating hearty, a steak, filet mignon, crab legs and all of that. I'm talking about the little individual crab legs. You just dip them. Yeah. Seriously, man. It ain't going to be all of that all the time.
Yeah, I feel that. I think that with Johnny Gargano, when the question is, should Triple H slow down? Actually, I think, I do think so.
Why?
I think that you run the risk of, I'm not saying slow down in signing people or bringing them back, if you want to bring them back under contract, but I don't want to tune into Raw every Monday and go, okay, now who's that guy? Oh, he's from, okay, what is he supposed to do? Like, I would like the gradual release, right? Give me a new face. Let me find out who they are. Let me get invested in them.
The thing is, the guys I think the guys that's coming back, you're going to know who they are. You're not going to need to get invested in them.
I don't know everything about Dexter Lumis.
Dexter Lumis, I think he's a character that, you can get to know him as you go along. He got a certain look about himself. All right, Dexter Lumis, he has a certain flavor. You're not going to find a whole lot of guys that got what Dexter Lumis has. Okay, I'm serious. I mean, not that he's the greatest wrestler or anything, but just his look, his overall character. He has something. You could place him in you could put him in a role. I'm not talking about his wrestling at all. You could put him in a role, and you'll go, man. I'm digging this. We'll see. But I'm talking about the Dakota Kais. People that you are familiar with, people that you do know, the Samoa Joes, the Cesaros, people like that. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure. I just think that you do run the risk of, honestly, kind of being what this is a criticism I have of AEW is all of a sudden 1 week there's just the guys that and then the next week there's 7 guys debuting on one show.
Well, but those 7 days. Well, one thing about AEW, one thing about AEW, I kind of like understand what you're talking about because they saw a lot of guys from the indie scene that you don't know,
Right.
that you do have to, like the Dante Martin. Is that his name?
Yeah, Dante Martin.
You got to watch this guy and then go, wait a minute, I like this guy. Well, I want to tune in and watch him now. You got to do that with a lot of the AEW guys because you don't know who the hell they are. But that's the beauty of being talented. If you're good, just like you didn't know who MJF was once upon a time.
Right. But they let him cook. You know what I mean? They didn't debut MJF on the same show that they had 7 other guys.
Well, even if I'm just saying, even you could debut MJF with 7 other guys, you're going to see something different with him than those other 6 guys.
You might be right. That's fair. That's a fair point.
That's what I'm talking about. That's
a fair point. I just don't want, again, I don't want too many people getting lost in the shuffle. That's all.
Yeah, I get it. And that's why that's one of my criticisms about AEW is a lot of guys over there that just on the fence. You're wondering what they're doing. They're sticking them in factions just to give them some work, just to give them some TV time.
Let's make trios titles. That way everybody, we can put them all in a trio.
Well, exactly my point. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Doing stuff just to get guys on camera. And I think, yeah, that's a bad recipe for going out and creating a really compelling story, opposed to just but just think back again. You know, people can say, "What the hell is you talking about?" It worked for the NWO. You know, all they did was just come out and beat people. It was no story. All they did was beat everybody up on the roster every week for 87 weeks or whatever.
83.
83 weeks. Yeah,
close though.
And it worked. Let's see if we can do that.
Try if you can. You know, I mean, I just don't. I don't know. I think that we should slow it down. Let's take one. Let's take one more super chat. I think we have time to make a break. Booker, would you have a last match for a 7-figure check?
Hell yeah. We ain't even got to talk about that. I'm still in good enough shape to go out and have a match. You know, 7 figures just going to make it that much easier for me to do it. You know, I'll give you an hour Broadway.
You might pass out twice during the match,
but
you'll do it.
You damn sure get it. You know, I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I'm not above getting in the ring and doing something. A guy called me today, man. He's like, "Man, I just saw you had a match. Just thinking if you want to get back in and do something, if the price is right." And I said, "Brother, trust me, the price ain't gonna be right because it ain't gonna be that 7 figures." You know what I'm saying? When we can get close to that, then we can talk about getting me on some primetime TV. Other than that, man, I'm gonna sit it out. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. I'm serious. Now, I was looking at I was reading an article. It was a quote from Shelton Benjamin, and he was saying, Brock, character on television right now is the Brock that's around the boys, around his friends all the time. And the thing is, I can attest to that. I tell the story about when we were snowing in Connecticut, and man, we hanging out, getting the free drinks, you know what I mean? We can't go anywhere, so we just hanging out in the bar. And we had this bartender, man, I don't know what her problem was, but she hated all of us. I mean, we could not get, nowhere with her. We was like, I mean, just keep the bar open for another hour. You're going to make some money. She's like, bar's closing in 10 minutes. We're like, good God, what's going on here? Brock Lesnar roll in, he's smiling, he's having fun. He goes to talk to the bartender. I don't know what he said to her, but the bar was open for the rest of the damn night. We was like, what the hell's going on? He's having fun. He was just like, wow, man, but he is that type of dude, man. And for that character to actually come out on screen is actually pretty cool. I like it because it takes nothing away from the beast incarnate when he goes out and take care of his business inside the ring. That's what I've talked about forever. Brock is improving my point right now very well.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. We're just chopping it up, talking about a little bit of something that's going on in sports and entertainment, coming to you from ESPN 97.5, 92.5. What do we got, Brad? I know we got a few more super chats.
We do. We have one right now coming in from DJ 1481. If my computer won't freeze. 1491. Did you work with Jim Cornette? He's always trending.
Yeah, I worked with Jim Cornette for a minute in TNA. I worked with Jim Cornette. I don't remember a whole lot about my TNA career, to be honest. I cannot say that I remember really working with Jim Cornette one-on-one ever with anything throughout my whole career. I never worked Smoky Mountain wrestling or anything like that back in the day. I was never around him when he, spent time in ECW, of course. But I was a big fan of Jim Cornette when I was coming up as a kid. When I was watching him with the Midnight Express, taking on the Rock and Roll Express here in Houston, some of the greatest matches that you can think of, man. Those guys made me actually want to do it. That's how good they really were. And that Jim Cornette with that tennis racket, being able to talk a mile a minute without taking a breath. Dude was so impressive with his vocabulary. I say, wow. Always a big fan of Jim Cornette, but I've never really worked with him one-on-one, but I did work with Jim Cornette sporadically when I was in TNA.
What did you think of his, or what do you think of his ability to always be in the news?
Well, I never really see him in the news.
Well, I mean, okay, rephrase. Yes, that's a good point. What do you think of? He gets criticized quite heavily by a lot of people for his takes on wrestling, and I guess that's more so my question.
Oh my God.
Okay, we just had a crash.
Yeah, my dog just tore up everything in here, but it's cool. He's cool.
Do we need a break, or are you good?
No, we good.
Okay.
Jim Cornette, back to Jim Cornette. Scared the hell out of him. But back to Jim Cornette. What was the question?
What do you think of his takes?
Oh, his hot takes. I think Jim Cornette is he's inflammatory just because of the way he talk. Just because of the way he, I can tell you this. Jim Cornette normally is right about most of the stuff that he's talking about. Just the way he says it. I think that's what get people upset more than anything, just because you don't have to belittle anybody or talk about anybody to get your point across. And for me, when someone says something about me from a personal perspective, I'm wanting to fight them. You know what I mean? I want to see him and I want to get with him. And you can't beat up Jim Cornette. All he's going to want to do is sue you. He's not going to fight you. You know what I mean? So you're not going to get anywhere, being upset with Jim Cornette. So you just got to let it roll off you and, take it, with a grain of salt.
He's a controversial figure. I understand. I think that you're right. I think that a lot of the times when I listen to him, he has a point, but he does it in a very performative fashion where he tries to elicit a certain reaction, I think, out of the listener. And he might not be the best messenger, although some of his – I'm not saying everything he says I agree with by any stretch of the imagination, but I do agree. Sometimes when I listen to something he says, I'm like, okay, I see the kernel here. Like I see the part, the heart of what you're saying. But a lot of times it's done very colorfully. Bad as Son wants to know, have you ever thought about doing voice acting?
Yeah, definitely. That's something that I feel like I could do if I needed to. And that's what I'm all about too. I'm always trying to stay prepared for whatever comes along when it comes along. Something like that, I know it's available for me. I just have to be in the right place at the right time. Normally with that voice acting, you got to go to it. It's not going to come to you, So if the time is right and I need to actually go out and make some extra money, I'm just keeping the voice in shape and ready to go.
I like it. And again, we have. If you have a super chat you want to get it in during this segment. This is our last segment of the day. Bad as Son says, how much you weighing in at, Uncle Book?
Man, I look jacked right now, don't I, man? Yeah, I've been on this new protein, 35 grams and a protein, and and I might have bulked up. I might have put on like 5 pounds, but right now I'm like 230. And a solid 230 though, in the gym, trying to train like crazy right now, trying to get my right knee back together because I'm trying not to have surgery, and I got an MRI set up next week. But the training that I've been doing, I may not have to have nothing, man. I feel like I'm 100%. I might get in the ring this weekend. How about
Okay,
that?
well,
But
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
oh
I don't even
man,
know. I don't even know if you're allowed in the building.
it's my building.
It's got
Okay,
your name on
I
it.
still own the building. Okay, I still own it.
That's
Just
true.
can come to it. All right.
That's true. That's true. Madison also wants to know what's your favorite horror movie, you and Brad.
Oh man, that's an easy one for me, man. I don't know if you've ever seen the original Exorcist.
Yeah, of course.
Good God, what a
Right.
movie! I remember the first time when I was saw that. We saw that at the drive-in theater back in the day, and good God, man, I couldn't sleep for a week or two, man. Seriously, that's how scared I was after watching that movie. I mean, people can talk about Freddy, Friday the 13th, all that crap. The Exorcist was mine. That was it.
I'm not a big horror movie fan in general, so I can't give you a great answer. So I'm just gonna go with Penance Lane.
I was just going to say, man, Penance Lane, you might want to check that one out too. It was a brother played a hell of a role in that one. Brother named Shooter. Check him out. Bad, man. Yeah.
Bad man. So I'm gonna go with the and of course, the best actor in it, John Schneider. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Ezekiel Miller says dream match, current stars, and a legends match. I guess he's asking you, did you have a dream match? Either current stars or legends.
Look, I've said it before, just Shawn Michaels and Booker T, I thought would have been a great matchup. I really do. I never got I really don't get too much high praise for how good of a wrestler I was. I don't know why. Maybe because I entertained at a really, really high level, but I thought I was a really, really good wrestler. And I thought I could compete with the best in the world. And I always thought Shawn Michaels was really high up on that list as far as a guy that I need to test myself just to see how good this guy really was. Never got a chance to do that. That would have been my dream matchup. Today, man, if I could mix it up with Roman, I think that would be pretty cool. I really do. I think that would be pretty cool if I could, have that one chance to mix it up with someone like Roman Reigns.
Yeah, I think Roman and you would have a good match. I know that Sean's the one that you've always said. Sean's the one.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? Oh, hey, wanted to ask you. Big return came down last night or a couple nights ago with AEW. CM Punk is back.
Yeah.
Punk is back after John Moxley defeated the Lionheart Chris Jericho. CM Punk made his return to AEW just in time for All Out, which is in Chicago, which also begs the question, is every AEW pay-per-view in Chicago? Like, I feel like that's the only town they run. Damn it. Give us something in the South. All right? I want to see one of these shows.
Yeah, right. You ain't going to see it. Trust me.
I'm not going to have it. It's not going to happen. CM Punk came back. What do you think?
I don't know, man. I want to see Punk back in the ring, working. The injury had to be pretty significant enough to where you had to take that much time off to heal from it. One thing about Father Time, it waits for no man to get back in that ring and perform and try to pull off some of the old CM Punk maneuvers from yesteryear. Those days might be over. We've seen Punk have a little bit of trouble with some of the stuff that he's tried to pull off before that injury. All right. And it's been a few botches, so I don't think something like that's going to help him or anything like that. May want to think about changing that style up and becoming a heel.
Heels don't got to wrestle, brother.
You got to do nothing. Just walk.
Eye
Walk
poke.
Yeah.
Gut shot.
Yeah.
Break to the back.
Exactly.
Couple tight pulls. Like, we don't have to do a whole lot here, man. We can make a whole lot out of nothing.
Like I say, be a heel, and slow it down. He'd be okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, I like the Punk's back. Obviously, he's a big draw for AEW. He was a world champion, and in the same week had to put it on pause. I think I want to give a lot of actually props to John Moxley, who's been out there. He's been doing everything that he can to keep that championship picture going. I think that obviously he's about to lose that interim title to Punk in Chicago. Punk's not gonna come back for a show in Chicago for the world title and lose. So, yeah, I hope Ambrose has enjoyed the run. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Moxley, I can't get out of calling him Ambrose. John Moxley's enjoyed the run. But I actually though like this aspect. I like that we're putting an end to the interim title nonsense. Right?
Yeah, definitely. I feel the same way. I didn't like it from the beginning, and hopefully this match put that to bed, and try to figure out where he go from there. I just didn't think it was a great idea, but at the end of the day, it might have been a good idea because Punk's back now. He's the interim champion. The pay-per-views in Chicago. Got a lot of meat on that bone right there. See how it work out.
There's a draw. I just don't know if interim titles work in pro wrestling for me, but we'll see if it plays out at All Out. They're also going to be crowning the trios tag team championships at the same show as Booker tries to locate his dog, and trying to prevent him from anything else happening. But yeah, man, I think All Out is going to be in Chicago, and I'm looking forward to the show and seeing how the card shapes out. Also, Book, one of your former students, Sammy Guevara. I guess we should send a congrats over to him. He did get married over the weekend.
Good luck.
So congrats to
good luck,
Sammy.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say to him. Good luck, because he's going to need it. He's going to need it. You get married when you're that young, man. So much can go wrong, man. So much can go wrong. And so I'm going to be praying for Sammy to actually be able to pull this thing off. Because me and Charmel, we've made it to 17 years, and it's been a lot of ups and downs, man. So and we got married later in our years, so I can imagine what Sammy's getting ready to go down on the road. And you're in that same boat too. Good luck,
young one.
Good luck to you guys. Yeah, we got to get up out of here. I want to thank everybody for hanging out inside the Hall of Fame today, getting your champagne wishes and caveat dreams. As always, appreciate it, Brad. And we'll see you guys same place, same time next week. Peace. We out.